Some Republicans are gearing up to campaign against California Governor Gavin Newsom as an effort to recall the Democrat gains steam. This week, businessman John Cox became the latest to throw his hat in the ring. He ran unsuccessfully against Newsom in 2018. Cox says he plans to run either if the recall effort makes it to the ballot later this year or during the regularly scheduled election in 2022. The effort to recall Newsom started before the pandemic, but has gained momentum in recent months. In order to trigger a special election, the movement must collect nearly 1.5 million valid signatures by mid-March. On Sunday, organizers said they were 200,000 signatures away from that goal. It's gaining national attention. In a tweet earlier today, the White House press secretary said President Biden, quote, clearly opposes any effort to recall Governor Newsom. Sophia Bollag is a political reporter for the Sacramento Bee and joins us now. Sophia, welcome. This is the second time John Cox will run for governor against Gavin Newsom. He lost his bid in 2018. What does Cox plan to campaign on this time?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, he ran in 2018, and as far as I've heard from him, he's planning to run on a platform sort of bashing Newsom for his handling of the pandemic and presenting himself as sort of a political outsider, a businessman who he says would do a better job running the state than Gavin Newsom has.
Well, 46% of voters in California are registered Democrats. Only 24% are Republicans. So who is the other Republican candidate, and why does he think he has a shot?
Yeah, so far, in addition to John Cox, Kevin Faulconer is the other Republican who has thrown his hat into this race. He was very recently the mayor of San Diego, and the argument that he's making is kind of like Cox, that Newsom is not doing a good job handling the pandemic and that he can do a better job. But he also argues that he is a Republican who can win in California. When I spoke with him last week about him announcing his candidacy, he pointed out that he has been popularly elected mayor of San Diego. And he said that the party registration, the registration advantage that Democrats have in San Diego mirrors that of California. And so he argues that he has proven that he can win over Democrats and no party preference voters, as you need to if you are a Republican running statewide in California.
Well, Sophia, what's the latest in the campaign to recall Governor Newsom? It was interesting to see that tweet today from the White House press secretary.
Yeah, and I believe that tweet was prompted by a question from one of my colleagues in McClatchy's DC bureau about what the White House, what Biden thinks of the recall effort. But so far, the recall effort it's still chugging along. They're still collecting signatures. They're still raising money. They have not said that they've collected enough signatures to hit that nearly 1.5 million signature threshold that they need to. And realistically, they're going to need to collect a lot more than that because with any statewide signature gathering effort, not all those signatures are going to turn out to be valid. And so I think at the moment the campaign is saying that their goal is 1.8 million signatures that they want to collect. I've talked to some other experts who have said they really would need to collect closer to 2 million. But so far they're moving along toward that goal. They have until mid-March to collect those signatures.
And Sophia, give us a sense of the political landscape here. Would you say that the recall effort is an accurate measure of Gavin Newsom's popularity among Californians?
Well, certainly Newsom is decreasing in popularity among Californians. There were 2 polls that came out last week that show that Newsom's popularity has taken a dip from a high that we saw over the summer. Polling showed, and throughout sort of last year as the pandemic went along, that people were happy with Newsom's handling of the pandemic. In these most recent polls, we've seen that has dropped. One of the polls showed him under 50% approval rating. One showed him a little bit above. But basically, that's not the trend you want to see if you're Gavin Newsom and you're facing this potential recall challenge to your governorship. It's certainly dissatisfaction with him and his handling of the coronavirus at this moment is increasing.
All right. Well, a lot of focus on California. We know you'll continue to watch it. Sophia Bollag. Sophia, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.